So Uganda has outlawed or made illegal homosexuality, and even claiming that they will use the death penalty in some cases. And I'll be honest with you, I'm about headline deep in this story because one, Uganda and their thoughts and sentiments on homosexuality don't impact me whatsoever as an American citizen. So I'm not here to be up in arms about it or waste too much time or energy. I barely even thought about making a video on it, but it's a dry morning, so let's talk about it. As far as the death penalty for the homosexuality, before reading into it, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, I'm going to safely assume that it's an exaggeration. I don't necessarily believe that they're calling out for gay people to be flatly murdered for being gay. Maybe if they perform a certain act on certain individuals or something like that. Don't know. If I'm wrong, please enlighten me. Now, beyond that point, do I think that it's a bad thing that they have outlawed homosexuality? Of course not. If that's what they believe in. You see, because one thing about freedom, if you believe in such things, is that your freedom can't impose on other people's freedom. And our freedom of the United States is to enjoy, got something in my eye, ourselves and our country, not to freely police the world for their moral, or based off of our moral compass. So Uganda is a free country, meaning that it is not beholden to the whims of another country. It's not a colonized state. By that measure, it's a free country. Are the rules for their citizens as free as Americans consider, them they should be? Probably not. I don't know too much about Ugandan law or the rules of Uganda. But I can say that it's their country, not mine. It's their country. So if I have a problem with what they do in their country, I'm allowed to have a problem with that. You know what I do when I'm not a citizen of a country and I have a problem with something that that country is doing that isn't directly affecting me or the citizens of my country? I mind my own business. If we, at any level, have a problem with oppression, right? Like, check me out. The homosexuals or people who are mad about them not liking homosexuality or outlawing it are mad because people aren't able to express their freedoms, right? People. Not them, though. People in general. And they believe that oppression should be stopped at any level. Well, do you not think that it's oppressive to try and tell a country how they run their country with no authority to do such? A sovereign nation? Isn't that oppressive? Isn't that a colonizer mentality? Like, isn't that what woke people try and criticize constantly? How people with colonizer mentalities, people who are trying to forcefully impose their will on other people, are in the wrong, and everybody should be allowed to be who they are. The way that you practice that is with yourself first and foremost. You can't look around at the world and try and force things on them because they're not allowing you to freely express yourself. You have to realize that you're not the main character of this world. You may be a very minute sector, a minority of people, a very small school of thought. And by that measure, you're lucky and blessed that you live in a country where you get to be your little weird self, but that doesn't mean that the whole world will acquiesce to your imaginary games that you play. And imaginary games, I'm talking about the trans ideology, because obviously gay people are real. Homosexual tendencies are real. But enacting upon them is not necessary. If you feel oppressed by that, there are many people who have been oppressed by society over the years, even heterosexually. As a matter of fact, And today, a lot of people still believe that you're supposed to withhold sexuality until a certain point in a relationship, whether that be marriage or whatever. And they have a right to feel that way. And people have a right to feel like they don't have to do all those things. But I don't think so. People have a right to feel like other people should be allowed certain things as well. But that doesn't mean that you make the rules. So in closing, because I don't have to talk about this for too long. Yeah, I know that Uganda's made homosexuality illegal. I think that it's not a bad thing for my personal opinion, but I more so don't care. There are many countries that have homosexuality completely legal. And I don't look at those countries and say, that's what's wrong with them. They need to change. So just like there's a few countries where homosexuality is illegal, I'm not going to look at them and tell them that they need to change either. Can the world use a little bit more tolerance in every direction? I do believe so. But could the world also use a little bit more shame? Definitely. Definitely. Shame would cure a lot of the ailments of society right now. But that's where I'll leave this video. I saw somebody make a post on Twitter where they shared the Ugandan story and they're like, oh man, are you talking about Florida? And I made a post. I was like, hey man, in Florida, we take that as a compliment. We would do that in a second if we could, man. But and as far as making it illegal, do I think that people should get jail time for being gay? No, I don't really care. But I also think that it should be less, not legal. It should be less socially acceptable for you to talk about your sexuality. That's what I will definitely say. Like, I don't care about anybody's sexuality. So I'm not going to say keep it to yourself, but make sure that you're in appropriate circles when you're discussing these kind of things. Like, why do we talk about this kind of stuff at work? Who knows? I don't know. America's going crazy, but Uganda is the real psychos, right?